So get a nose of that. It'll come to you. That is pure sweet potatoes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The Arkansas Delta, rich in history, soil, and spirit. Here, on land cultivated for generations, a new tradition is taking root.
Well, come on down. Watch your step coming down.
Delta Dirt Distillery is more than a place. It's a legacy. The Williams family has farmed this land for 4 generations.
My great-grandfather started farming our land, which is about 20 miles from here, west of where we are now. My great-grandfather started farming that land, sharecropping it, with the hopes of owning that land one day. And he never did, but his son, which is my granddad, U.D. Williams, sharecropped it until he was able to buy the farm. And he bought the farm in 1949. So that's why, and well, let me tell you the rest of it, because the reason the jug is there and the cotton is there, how he bought the farm in that year, in that era, is pretty significant too, because my dad tells the story, he picked this cotton that year, just like he did every other year, right? And took his cotton to a different gin than his landowner's gin to get what the cotton was worth. Sold his cotton, and then took the money he was earning on the side, making moonshine, and sold and bought the farm.
Now, they've taken their heritage from the fields to the bottle. This is America's only Black-owned farm-to-bottle distillery. Their spirits are unlike any other, crafted from the sweet potatoes and grains grown right here in the Delta.
My dad started farming after my granddad, and it was only 86 acres, so 86 acres in the mid to early 80s was not really a lot of land to farm cotton and row crop. So he converted really our farm mostly to a vegetable operation and started farming vegetables, which is how we ended up in the sweet potato business. So we bring in sweet potatoes. I don't have a crate here of them today, but we bring in a crate, like these 48 by 40 crates. They hold about 1,000 pounds of sweet potatoes. And we bring them in and we'll wash them in that in this potato washer. And it's got these hard brushes on it and the water nozzles, so it cleans the potatoes. Now I can tell you, before we had this, we were washing these potatoes by hand.
Every batch starts in this rich Delta soil. Sweet potatoes, corn, and grain. Ingredients that define the Williams family's land, now define their spirits. From the earth to the stills, every drop tells a story. 4 spirits, 1 farm. Sweet Blend Vodka, clean, crisp, and made from sweet potatoes and corn, creating a silky smooth sip.
These sweet potatoes ain't letting all the way go. So our vodka is not odorless. It's got some, you can smell, it's vodka, but it's got some aroma there that says this is different. And the same way with the taste, you can taste that and like, that's a vodka, but there's some earthy taste and tone that's left there that's different. So let me tell you about this bottle. This is proof. So you see the 86 proof on that. You go in the store, 90% of the vodka that's in there is 80 proof. It's standard government proof. We're at 86 for a couple of reasons. One, you met my wife, right? My wife and I graduated high school together in 1986. But you also heard me tell you the story about my granddad buying our farm in 1949. That was 86 acres.
Okay.
So he's represented in here, the farm's represented in here through the proof.
Then there's Delta Dirt Tall Cotton Gin, a perfectly balanced spirit with layers of botanicals that capture the essence of the Delta. Smooth yet complex, perfect in a cocktail or sip neat.
Tall cotton, it's probably before my generation. It's part of my granddad or his dad's generation that says, you know, we're stepping in high cotton or tall cotton now. So we named that gin Tall Cotton after him and put a little cotton in the back of that.
That's awesome.
And then Bourbon Reimagined. Delta Dirt's signature whiskey is a one-of-a-kind spirit known as Arkansas Brown, a name proudly owned by Delta Dirt Distillery.
This is my granddad's story in a bottle, okay? So I told you guys up front the whole story about my granddad buying the farm out of sharecropping with his cotton and moonshine. It's there. This is my granddad's signature. And we got that off of his will document. And they were able to lift that signature and put it on this label, and underneath it says first generation landowner. So in our family, he's our first generation landowner. On the front, my granddad was born December 2nd, 1906. So guess what the proof is? 106. 106, yep. And then you can see on the front, we got the mash right on there, corn, sweet potatoes, rye, and barley. And we applied for, of course you have to apply for label approval and your formulation approval. They approved all of that except for the label. They said you cannot call this a bourbon whiskey because you have something in your mash other than grain. Yep, it meets the other qualifications. Has over 51% corn. It goes in new American oak barrels. It comes off the steel less than 160. So we meet all the requirements except for the grain. And my wife, I can blame her or I could praise her because she said we should put sweet potatoes in this bourbon that we're doing. I said, nah, I think that's gonna be a problem. I've read the regulation and I think it's gonna be a problem. She said, yeah, but trust me. Okay, I'll trust you. And sure enough, it came back and they said, no, you're not gonna be able to call that a bourbon. So I asked, like, what can I call it? And they said, well, that's not our game. We can't tell you what to call it. We just know you can't call that a bourbon whiskey. So you guys are from Kentucky and you're known for Kentucky bourbon. Tennessee is known for Tennessee whiskey. In fact, Tennessee makes bourbon all day long, but they won't call it bourbon. So Tennessee whiskey, they're proud of that. So I resubmitted it under what I would call our own category, Arkansas Brown. So you'll see Arkansas Brown.
That's awesome.
So I want you guys from Kentucky to want some Arkansas Brown the way we want some Kentucky bourbon.
Delta Dirt is more than just spirits. It's part of a movement, helping to rejuvenate downtown Helena, Arkansas, bringing new life, new business, and a new sense of pride to this historic river town.
I'd moved away from here after I got out of high school. I went to college and moved away just like so many people in the Delta. They get out and either go to the military or go stay with relatives or go to college and then, try to build their life somewhere. I did the same thing. So, which is kind of reflective in this community. If you look at this community, the population decline has continued to go down in this part of the state, rural Arkansas. But I came back and always wanted to come back. I knew I wanted to do something and hopefully have an opportunity to do something with the farm. So if you think about it, the distillery really kind of checks those boxes so I can grow and I can have a distillery and build a business around this brand and these products that we grow the material on the farm.
From Delta soil to Delta spirit, this is Delta Dirt Distillery.